All right, so I'm going to try something a little different. This is your recap for the March 3rd, 2026 Greeley City Council meeting. I recognize that the longer videos, often people aren't watching all the way through. So I'm going to try to do a very quick highlights reel and then have that follow up with a more in-depth. So first off, for the meeting, the consent agenda items, as I discussed in the overview, all passed, nothing got pulled. And the three ordinances, hearings and second readings of the regular agenda. All that includes the prohibiting gray water collection and then the raises for the judge and the attorney. For citizen input, there were 23 people who spoke. The couple that really stand out, Tom Donkel, who heads up Greeley Forward, spoke to say that he believes that Greeley Forward ran a clean, open, honest, and respectful campaign and claimed that Greeley deserves better, demands better, and We Are Greeley did not do that. I obviously have some opinions around that because some of the things that he claims are not necessarily what were, but that's neither here nor there. He also said that Tommy Butler, Councilmember Butler, has sabotaged the project at every step of the way, and he demanded that Councilmember Butler immediately resign from his post and to show that he cares more about our community than potential political gains. Many community members spoke about the results of the special election. The general themes were, please hear us. Don't just continue moving forward. We have a chance to move forward in a way in which we can start to repair the division. And I will say, recall was mentioned on several occasions by several community members if council continues to still not hear or honor what the voters have said. There was also a couple other community members that spoke about some important things. One wanting to create a committee oversight for mobile home parks, talking about some very unsafe and unsanitary conditions that are occurring, and the billion-dollar management companies that are in charge of them are not taking care of it, and the city seems to be bouncing her around as she's trying to get help for that. So she asked that they please take some action there. Another community member requested that boards and commissions be utilized in planning stages, namely was talking about the fact that she's part of the Disabilities Commission and that they have not been consulted on Civic Center campus and have a lot of expertise that they can bring to the city. This is an opportunity to work with community members and to save us money in the long run so that there aren't things that we miss. And then another community member asked what the city is going to do to ensure safety for our JBS workers as they go on strike and our immigrant population. I spoke about the possibility of allowing marijuana sales in city limits, as research shows it does not actually increase use nor crime, but instead provides some much needed revenue. And for reports from council members, there were two that I really wanted to highlight. One is Councilmember Olson discussed, he read a speech that he had written that basically says that he agrees we need to pause for 3 to 6 months. We need to make an oversight committee and brainstorming committee that includes both yes and no on 1A folks, and that communication from the city was horrible and we need to find a way forward, and he hears our voice. I really hope that this is genuine. I am a little skeptical that in the 4 days since his KFK interview, in which he had a very different tone about him, that it has changed this much, but I do hope that maybe he had an epiphany and something came about that. It was nice to actually hear some acknowledgement that they wouldn't just plow forward, so that was good. And then Mayor Pro Tem McDonald had a very interesting speech. She said that if there is consideration of recalling her, to go ahead and do that so that she can get back to her life. She also said that it is not actually the council who are the enemies, and she's very tired of everyone focusing on the West Greeley project, and that it is actually former city management that is to blame for the problems, talking about there being a recording in which the former city manager was heard telling the county that we didn't need money for the Highway 34 interchange and that this is BS and a lie. She said that there are multiple pink flags and that the council is also needing transparency that didn't happen. This is another one of those where I go from last week to this week when she was pushing West Greeley Project so hard and saying that they're being transparent and we just don't realize and they're doing everything. I don't know that this information just came out this week. Perhaps it did. but it also felt very much like scapegoating the former city manager, who may have very well done some very shady things, who knows. But also there is an NDA that was signed between the city and that city manager that I believe got violated by this being on a public forum. And so I do have some concerns around what could happen with that, but we'll see. So, yep, I think that pretty much sums it up. Please let me know what you think of the new format of the quicker, here's the rundown, and then the stuff written in the body, if that's helpful, if it's not. And if you have questions, let me know.